All right, so Week 13 recap. Notre Dame, first game up, Notre Dame beats up North Carolina. The Tar Heels came out early, but then kind of fizzled after that. Really didn't do anything after the first quarter. I think had about 3 points the rest of the game. All indications are that Clemson versus Notre Dame is coming up in the ACC championship game as long as those two teams can continue to win. Specifically, Clemson can continue to win. But Alan and we both picked Notre Dame to stick with it. Houston took the Tar Heels as a lone wolf. And I will start you off, Houston. What were you thinking?
Well, for a long time there, it seemed like something that would be a good pick, especially the first two series. I thought North Carolina could score on them. And for the most part, I feel like they moved the ball well. Even in the second half, they would show glimpses of, hey, they hit up a 10-yard run, or they hit a little pass that'll go 10, 15 yards. But I don't know. I know everyone's talking about the defensive performance of Notre Dame, and no discrediting them. They did really well. But I also don't think North Carolina did themselves any favors. I feel like they got away from what was working in the first half, and a lot of things that were keeping Notre Dame kind of off balance. Ultimately ended up covering.
Yeah, and Al, we have our other game up, which was really the one game that I think we all lost, unfortunately, and that was Syracuse keeping it closer to the Wolfpack than we all anticipated. For whatever reason, Dino Babers got his team to continue to play. But the craziest thing is, I mentioned that Syracuse is the worst team in America. Well, what kind of stuff does the worst team in America do? Exactly what Syracuse did Saturday. Fourth down, with the clock running, with no timeouts left. What do? Spike the ball to end the game. How can you do that? I mean, I just don't understand it. Even Wes Durham, who was calling the game, was like, the last thing you want to do is spike the ball. The last thing you want to... And then he just kind of was like, okay, they spiked the ball. The game is over. Syracuse doesn't understand it, but the game is over.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Syracuse? I mean, why are they still fighting here? Why? I mean, I guess they're not fighting. They're not losing for a number one draft pick, so it might as well keep fighting.
Yeah, might as well. Why not? I mean, they're not pulling a Florida State, so that's good. But I didn't get to see any of that game. All I know is I saw the final score. I couldn't believe they kept it close. I thought NC State was going to be able to take care of business better than that. And then, of course, I got the message. I believe it was from you that it said they spiked it in the game, and I had to go back and watch it on replay. It's just unbelievable that those kind of things can happen in college football. That'd be hard to believe in high school, much less college football. But yeah, that was a cool way to end the game, depending on how you're looking at it. But fun for us. At least it gives us something to talk about.
And Al, you actually did have a good one. You went lone wolf on Duke versus Georgia Tech. Really a straight up game. How in the world, in a picks against the spread game, do Houston and I lose a straight up pick? In a picks against, we're supposed to do picks against the spread to make it harder on us, and we can't even win the one that was a straight up pick. I don't really know. I do know this. How dare we pick Duke, considering that Chase Bryce is the quarterback? Oh, we love you as a Tiger, but you turned the ball over way too much to be trusted. Fumbled, I believe, twice. Threw an interception, fumbled twice, and then a few other players fumbled as well. That Duke cannot be trusted. They are the worst in the ACC in turnover margin, and it's really by far. So, Duke, you're in my bad graces now. Chase Bryce, like I said, I just can't pick you. I love you, just can't pick you. Iowa State, though, Al, you picked Texas. You picked Texas. Yep. Now, I'm not going to beat you up on this one because you said, "Hey, I got to go with the opposite to try to make up some ground."
Yeah.
Thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I thought I was going to pull this one out too. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you watched that game or not, I got to watch most of it, and I was right until a minute and a half to go. I mean, Texas came out firing. Iowa State made a comeback, but Texas was pretty much in control the whole game. And I was like, look, it's going to be a close game. I thought it was going to be much more high scoring, as I would imagine most people did. I thought it was going to be more high scoring, but I thought it was going to be back and forth. And in the end, I thought Ellinger was going to make Ellinger type play. And he didn't get his chance. He didn't have a great game, but I was like, hey, he just got to get to the end of the game and he can make something happen. Unfortunately, the field goal went just left the 57-yarder.
Had the distance.
Had the distance. It just barely missed. And I mean, I was ready. I was like, hey, he's going to nail this 57-yarder. We're going to go into overtime, and Ellinger's going to make me look like a hero here because I'm telling you, this kid's got moxie. I said he was a gamer. He makes those plays when it needs to be made. He puts his body on the line. He doesn't care. And it's something you really like in a quarterback, and I thought he was going to pull that one out. Man, so close. It's tough to lose that kind. But at least they didn't pull a Cincinnati like Houston and did the other week with his little UCF.
Can you even count that as a win? Can you even really count that?
I can't be overly upset like I was that week because that's an abomination. That shouldn't have happened ever.
We all hit home. We all locked in Alabama over Auburn. They did not disappoint. Alabama still looking like one of the best teams in the country, if not the best team. We also had two games that weren't allowed to be played. Florida State, because of, as Houston mentioned earlier, Florida State has refused to play football for the past month. And then Oklahoma also did not play for some COVID concerns. Interesting there. West Virginia is now going to play Iowa State. And Oklahoma has not played West Virginia. So I wonder how that's going to affect the Big 12. Not really sure yet. I hope that they do make that game up. But, because Iowa State is now just one step closer to winning the Big 12 and, or making it to the Big 12 championship game, I guess, if they're going to have one. And then the last game, one that, I was the lone wolf on, that I have to beat myself up on over this. Clemson beats Pittsburgh so easy by 35 points. Really no challenge at all. The defense, really good, but really no challenge. Torched them? Would you say torched? Yeah, I'd probably say torched, because if this was 52-17 against Carolina, boy, we would be bragging about this. But it is against Pittsburgh, a team that replaced Carolina this year. Maybe a better rival, to be honest. Maybe a better rival. We might just keep them around. But, again, I picked Clemson. What was I thinking? Well, let me tell you something. I hated myself all Saturday because there's nothing worse than watching your team go up 24-0 within like minutes and then thinking, and I text Alan, I text you this. I text you both guys this. I said, now all Clemson has to do is run the clock out. Well, that was like 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. So that's a lot of clock running out for me to keep it within. Now, Pittsburgh did come back a little bit, got close, but then Clemson just got right back into it.